Hey everybody, Lumpydog here, coming to you with a tank spotlight on my 75-gallon aquarium. This aquarium has a gravel substrate, which is mainly pea gravel from Home Depot, and a little bit of white and blue leftover gravel I had laying around. It has just a standard fluorescent light, and it's full of just a basic crypt and one Anubias. Now this crypt is from two crypts I bought at PetSmart years and years ago. They tried to die for a couple months and then finally took off. Pieces or descendants of these crypts are now in pretty much every aquarium I own. Now, it's filtered by a Sun 304B canister filter. Works fine. And in here, let's see, the first residents we're going to look at are these female koi swordtails. They're pretty healthy, they're all big adults, and they do a pretty good job at picking at algae, and they don't take no crap from the little cichlids. I don't have any males left. These girls are descendants from some fish I got from Michael's Fish Room several years back. Now this is an unheated tank. I think it runs about 70, 71 degrees normally. This tank gets fed a combination of dry staple food, shown here, and this pretty much feeds everything in the tank. And then, kind of as a treat, they also get some frozen food. The beef heart is for Cygnus the Bashir, and then the brine shrimp and the bloodworms, pretty much for everything else. Next up is a single orphaned turquoise rainbow fish. Now, if you've owned fish long enough and have enough tanks, you end up with some orphans. So this little guy here is the last of a group I had for quite a few years. He's doing well, he bops around, doesn't bother much. Not much bothers him. Some days he's bright blue and silver, other days he's primarily black. Today he's kind of sporting a little bit of both colors. He's probably 8 years old, maybe, at a guess. He's the last of the group, so he's just living his life out in here. Now, as you start getting older and can't remember crap and got a few tanks, you start having to keep track of stuff. So I use a whiteboard. So let's zoom in on the 75-gallon. So here's the tank thing here. Last filter change would have been in February 6th. The nitrates would have been 25 ppm. The tank temp was 71 degrees. TDS was a 145. pH would have came in at 7.4. The last time it was fertilized, root tabs would have been on January 22nd. And then there was some liquid ferts way back in October. I don't use liquid ferts on this tank very much. It's heavily stocked. The KH was 4, which is kind of low for me. And the GH was 9. The last time the filter's been serviced was in July. I do about every 6 months or so. Also added some crushed coral here just recently in February because of the low KH. And those are the water parameters. Next up are these beautiful little African butterfly dwarf cichlids. Now I've got these fish originally from Dan's Fish a few years back. These are all offspring from those original fish, all born down here in the basement. There's Cygnus just taking a quick cameo. He'll hide in the back again. But as you can see, when the light catches these guys just right, they just have some beautiful little blue spangling and nice little colors. These guys, all from the same spawn. I raised up one. Oh, here's a surprise. Here's a pleco, the only pleco in the tank. Rarely see him. Not even sure what kind he was or she is. It's a bristlenose, supposedly picked it up a few years back. It's been around and does a good job, but is rarely seen. All right, getting back, here are the little dwarf cichlids again. They have little cichlid attitude, but if you keep them in high enough numbers, you can see they all sort of get along. There's a few larger ones that have staked out some territories, but to the best of my knowledge, these little guys haven't done any breeding in this tank. The fry wouldn't stand a chance anyways. These fish typically get about 3 to 4 inches, with the males being slightly larger at about 4 inches. That's what the parents' sizes are. These guys are all probably a bit stunted though. Oh, and there he is, Cygnus the Bashir. Technically, this is his tank. This tank completely revolves around him, and it's for him. He is the only named fish in my fish room. Yeah, little Cygnus is quite the bipolar clown. Some days he's manic and just bouncing all over the tank. Other days he just lays around and is actually hard to find. He does like to lay in the weeds. I don't know if this is part of being an ambush predator or not, but usually he finds the food pretty quick, and he obviously spots me from across the room. I'm frequently down here on the treadmill, and he'll sit and watch me while I'm on the treadmill. So if anyone tells you they have bad eyesight, I don't think that's true. I think it's just the nature of how they feed, but I think they can see just fine. So we're going to see how off. I got Cygnus, I want to say October, November of 2017. He was about 2 inches long and the thickness of a pencil. Right now, he's about 8 to 9 inches long and full grown. And that about does it for this 75-gallon aquarium spotlight video. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe learned a thing or two. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. That's all for now. Lumpydog, out. P.S. That's Bailey, my little gray kitty, trying to add to the voiceover in the background. He is a bit of a handful when I'm downstairs in the basement.